Hello everyone, Lily here. Welcome to my channel, and for those returning viewers, welcome back. And today I thought I would do another video on one of the decks that I backed on Kickstarter this year that got delivered maybe, not sure, a month ago, maybe a month, maybe two. I'm not exactly sure when I got it, but I've been trying to work with it in the last month, or let me just say I've been trying to make sense of it. And well, I'm just here to talk about it, what I think, or basically it's rambling while trying to understand the deck. And maybe some of you out there who actually got it as well can maybe point me in the right direction or give some insights on things I do not understand. And yeah, anyway, I'll leave it at that. And the deck in question is the Chakra healing deck, which I was really looking forward to it. And this is a deck that was, how should I put it, pre-advertised, or the creator, Melumir R. Logan, who is actually a fellow Canadian, so that's why I was actually looking forward to back this deck, was going around some of the more popular tarot channels where she was being interviewed by some of the YouTube creators, and anyway, you know, one of the things she was talking about obviously was chakras, which gave me the impression that the deck would actually help you to work with your chakras. And this is where once I got the deck in my hand and I started reading the guidebook, it's another one of those decks where the guidebook doesn't provide enough information. I know there's, you know, here it is. I know there's a space limitation. And so I'll talk a little bit about the guidebook and what it says about the deck to start with. Like in the introduction, she goes on to talk, you know, there's a page or two on chakras, which is this. And then she also goes to explain that they're the chakra correspondences and the tree of life. Reading the guidebook, I got the impression that she was the first one to think about putting the chakra correspondences along with the tree of life, or using the tree of life as a basis for your tarot deck. And I know it's naive of me to actually think that, or maybe I misunderstood. But as I got into reading some of the books that were suggested, I'm finding out that you know, if you read with the Rider-Waite or you read with the Thought, the Kabbalah has been sort of built into it. So, and Melumir went ahead and assigned some chakras to the tree of life, until I eventually found out that she on her website, on her blog, she has a blog post where she actually explained how she came about with assigning the chakras to the tree of life. Because at first blush, and I'll just show some of the cards here. At first blush, when you read the Kabbalah, or you look at the tree of life as you can find it, and you try and figure out how the chakra works with it, because if I'm not mistaken, you actually have the same levels. Like the chakras, we have 7 chakras, and in the tree of life there are 7 levels. So I automatically assumed that the chakras, the level, matched the level of the tree of life. And so when I was looking at the at some of the cards, I'm like, well, that doesn't really make sense. And the book doesn't say anything at all. So then I went and looked at her website, and then I did see the drawing on how she assigned the chakras to the Tree of Life. And now I understand the relationship from that side. So I'll post a link below to the actual post, because she actually does go and explain a few other things. Now the guidebook also goes into explaining, there's a few pages on what you expect in a guidebook, explaining the structure of the tarot deck, that it's based on traditional system, that it's major arcana, minor, and split into 4 suits. And here it says, like getting started with the deck, you can use this gentle chakra healing tarot every day to help heal your chakras over time. So then she explains how to get started with the deck, for everyone, if you're a seasoned reader. And then she goes about giving just a brief explanation on what to expect for each card, which is, each card meaning description indicates which chakras the card reflects, a chakra healing message, and key phrases that are grouped into vibrant and suppressed. For vibrant, when you work with healing your chakras, you discover lots of hidden gems that you have perhaps never noticed about yourself. These are your hidden for now strengths and ability that you can build on and affirm. These are aspects of yourself that help your chakra to be vibrant. The more you build them up, the more vibrant they are. Suppressed message is anytime you have stored hurtful, sad, angry, or traumatic memories and experiences in your body, your chakra can become suppressed in managing those emotions. These parts of your chakra need attention to heal. And then there's brief explanation saying that each card has a planet or element energy associated with the card. Although it says for astrology, not sure what it's supposed to be doing for the rest of us. But anyway, the information is there. Although oddly enough, there's nothing on the card itself. So then for each card, you have the chakras associated with it, the planet, the healing message, the vibrant key phrases, suppressed key phrases, and traditional key phrases. So now, so I did talk about the Kabbalah. So let me start with the minors. And what she did differently for the minors than you'd expect in a tarot deck is she did not assign colors by suit. The colors are assigned by number. So then if you look at all the aces, which happens to be the crown chakra, they're all purple, no matter the suit. So, and this throws me for a loop because I have to look at the title to figure out which card it is. It's the same with, number 2, which is third eye, purple or indigo. Here's the throat. I'm just going to show you, take them like this. They're all blue. And then you get into the number 4. They're all green. 5s, again, the heart. Now, when you look at the image for the tree of life that she has, it, you know, you can figure out why. You know, it makes sense that they're all the heart chakra. Orange for the sevens, sacral, and for the eights, and red for the 9. And 10. And then we get into the court cards. And the court cards, if the you know, it's the same thing. The pages, and this is where actually I don't really agree based on the books. So we have the kings, and here are the kings, and they were assigned the throat chakra, while the queens were assigned the third eye. And what is weird when it comes to the queen and the kings is that in the tree of life, the kings are actually fall under number 2 and the queens fall under number 3. And so this falls out of the tree of life. Although you know, when she explains why she assigned this, it actually makes sense, because the expression is male and the intuition is female. So that sort of makes sense. The one thing I do not agree with is that she assigned for the pages, which in the books I was reading, they were talking a lot about the princesses. She assigned the crown chakra. But if you look at the tree of life, they're actually assigned to Malkuth, which is the 10th Sephiroth, which is associated with Earth. And while she puts the pages at the top at number 1, if you read the Kabbalah, what happens is the king marries the queen and they have children, which are the knights and the princess. And if you continue in the Kabbalah, the knight and the princess marry and become the king and queen in the next tree of life. So that's why the page or the princesses as the crown doesn't make sense, because the princess doesn't become alive or begotten before the queen. So in the same tree of life, basically. So it's kind of backward. It's basically saying the baby comes before the mother. So then those are my comments on the tree of life. These are my comments on the chakras for the minors and the court cards. Now, when it comes to the chakras for the major arcana, all of them are assigned 2 chakras. And this, again, if you refer to the tree of life, the tarot cards are assigned, basically there's 22 letters of the Hebrew letters, the Hebrew alphabet, and each letter represents basically a bridge between Sephiroth of the tree of life. And each card, so basically that's why if you look at the cards here that have been assigned a Hebrew letter, or basically each tarot card, the 22 cards here, represent those bridges between Sephiroth. And when I actually separated out the cards to see how many paths are represented, there's actually only, 14 paths. Because you have several cards that have the same chakras assigned. For example, we have here, like for the sacral and the root, we have the sun, judgment, star, and the moon. So there are certain, there's a few cards that are basically, like for example here, for the third eye and the heart, we have, we have two cards. We have strength and we have the chariot. So, so on and so forth. Is this another one here? Temperance and death. I'd have to look it up, but they might, they look like it's sacral and solar plexus. So, well, if you look at the Tree of Life, it makes sense how these were assigned. And this sort of applies to the rest of the cards. Is the guidebook, or if you listen to some of the videos, when it comes to the major arcana, the message is about the relationship between the chakras, which is good, I guess, but what does that tell me about the chakra itself? And what about the relationships between chakras that aren't shown in the, for example, I'm not sure, there might be one, but, for example, I don't see a card for the, and I might be wrong, so feel free to correct me, but for example, there's no relationship between the root chakra and the throat, because in the Tree of Life, there is no direct path. So that part leaves me a little bit baffled, because wouldn't that be a important relationship in two chakras? So there's this part, but also I'm not sure what it's supposed to tell me about my chakras, or even with these other cards here. What is, what if I pull the four cups, what does this tell me about my heart chakra? Is it balanced? Is it unbalanced? Is it excessive? Is it undercharged? It doesn't tell me the state about my chakra. And at this point, I can't say I'm sophisticated enough to understand what the message is telling me. Like I'll just grab one here. Strength. So I'll just read, chakra healing message. You see exactly what is really going on in the situation you are facing right now. You know that it will take significant strength on your part to get through. Despite the strength required, you are actually perfectly resourced in this situation. You have just the right mix of strength, abilities, wisdom, and heart to do the hard work required right now. In being just the right person at just the right time and place, you will need to remain grounded and committed to how you handle the choices to come. While you are perfectly ready for this, it is also not a time for any half-hearted measures. Continue to take good care of yourself, because this is likely to be a long haul, and you will need to maintain a healthy balance of energy input and output so that you can see this work to completion. You will truly exemplify grace under pressure. Vibrant key phrase. Trusting intuition in the face of great difficulty. being prepared to handle hard times, surrendering in a safe space, dedicated spiritual work, practicing bravery. Suggested suppressed key phrases: giving in to fear, minimizing strength, giving up too easily, distrusting intuitive knowing, blocking out spiritual messages, shutting down intuitive messages. And the traditional key phrases: grace and courage, dedicated effort, overcoming destructive impulses, gentle strength, knowing your limits, taking a risk, restricting expression. So what does that tell me about the state of my chakras, which is what I believe I thought that deck would be good for? There's a few spreads at the end to use with the deck, and anyway, I tried using the spreads, and although I can, for example, empowered card spread over here. It says, number 1, issue, chakra or chakra relationship issue. Select this card intentionally or pull at random. Okay. Number 2, acknowledge the root cause that allows this issue to continue. So I guess, well, if I get a chakra card, is it that chakra that's affecting it? Or I guess it's what's being represented in the card as, a tarot card. Action. How can I empower myself in this situation? So, yeah. I don't know. I guess I'm trying to read too much into it. So I forgot to talk about this before, but it was the 3 cards where all the chakras were assigned to that card. So this is the Fool, the Wheel, and the World. And again, if we're looking at the chakras, if I get a message, are all my chakras out of balance? Are they all the issue? What is the message on my chakras if I get one of the cards? And actually, you know what? I actually don't agree with the Wheel of Fortune having all the cards, because basically it sits in the middle of the Tree of Life. And yeah, so that doesn't make sense. It's a bridge between 2 Sephiroth on the Tree of Life. So I just thought I'd pop this in here. So there you have it. These are my thoughts on this deck. I've been holding off getting rid of it until I made this video. Although, I don't know. I'm still reading some of the chakra books that, I think I forgot to mention that I have been reading chakra books, try and make sense out of the, because I read the Kabbalah books, but at the same time, I'm also adding to my to my learning by reading books on chakra. One suggestion by the author of this deck, and I guess one of the things that I don't think the chakras and the Kabbalah I actually meant to have a correlation. Yes, the Kabbalah or the Tree of Life, like I know in the Kabbalistic tarot, actually makes a reference to the chakra or the Kundalini energy going up the spine. But it only in relation to the central pillar of the Tree of Life. It doesn't talk about the other 2. And chakras, I became interested in chakras a long time ago, although I did not deepen my knowledge. But I've always been interested in the chakra in terms of my health of my body. And I understand by reading some of the books I have now that it's also psychology. But it comes down to the chakra being unbalanced. Like, yes, something caused it to be unbalanced. But essentially what I'm trying to say is, if it's all psychological, well then, do I need to know about chakras? Because I know chakras, like the heart chakra, it's not called the heart chakra for nothing. It actually includes your organ chakra, which in the tree of life, there is no correspondence for your heart. Even in some of the things that I have looked at, the body parts that they mention in the chakra itself is basically, the left hand and the right hand, or the right arm and their left arm. I mean, I'm not even sure if we have assigned chakras for those parts. Although I know that, for example, that even your hands have their own chakras. So they're smaller chakras. So anyway, I think I'll leave it at that. I don't know if I'll ever add any more to this, but if I misspoke, please correct me. Like, I'm not doing this to disparage the creators. They had a good idea. Does it work for me in the end? I don't think so. Although I did get a book. I did get this book here, which is Tarot Healing, Using the Cards to Deepen Your Chakra Healing Work. So I haven't started reading it yet, but I do plan to look at it, and hopefully maybe I'll be able to use this deck with what I learned in this book, because otherwise I was very disappointed. And if I'm disappointed at the end, it's also because, like my Pocket of Peers rant, it's, the guidebook. While I understand it's a financial issue, there are other ways to communicate information. Yeah, I mean, you know what? Give me a little book like this, or, just give me a page and says, you'll find all the information on my blog. I'd be good with that. Just like I'm good to go on the website to look up the tree of life that she designed with the colors assigned to the chakras. I mean, yeah, I guess it was expensive to put a color page in this, but this is what I think. So, and I think I'll leave that here for now. So, until next time, have a good day.